Oh, I got a not super great call this morning that more or less confirms that despite doing despite my best efforts over the last couple of years, I have now officially got the beatus.
The Diabeetus.
The beatus is now,
I'm sorry I don't have the mustache to give this its proper
yeah. No,
gravity.
it sucks. It fucking that's some shitty shit. It's like, I knew I was in the range like prior. I was like pre diabetes is the
Mm.
state, and you're like, okay, you do what you can about that. And that was a couple of years ago, and like most of what I was doing up until that point was like, you know, backing it off, rescinding it, doing what I can. Pandemic
Hmm.
fucked a lot of shit up. Obviously, stopped
Yeah,
boxing.
that pandemic, not
Yeah,
helpful for anyone.
no, a lot of people, had like for me, like yeah, it led directly to the lack of me going out to get my regular training and whatever. The one thing led to another, but ultimately that is what happened, and that's where I'm at. So, um, this has happened before, and that pretty much means okay, go time. So go time
Hmm.
has been activated, and go time pretty much consists of, uh, you know, massive changes all around, some of
Hmm.
which are going to impact my recording schedule.
Really, that much, huh?
Um, yeah. So, like, I mean, basically, because what I was doing before was like a regimen that consisted of like again boxing training multiple times a week and then like running in the morning and stuff like that. This time around, making it work with the new situation is going to be a little more like home training involved. So like I have a rowing machine. I'm rowing half an hour every morning, um, and uh, I'm also going to be doing some boxing from home because I got
Hmm.
this thing that is pretty cool actually, and I'll I guess
It's
segue
called
into
a
that.
wipe.
Yeah, hey, there you go. This guy. No, there's a thing called it's called a light boxer, and what it is essentially a DDR pad on the wall, and
I've seen these things. Yeah.
you punch it to music rhythm or to like training classes, and then you try to
Hmm.
basically keep your movement up, keep your cardio up, keep your force up, and you have to hit it, and you get your 12 or your 16-ounce gloves and put them on, and essentially do the fist of the North Star thing, except to get yourself in shape, and it's a lot of fun. And the most fun I enjoy exercising and getting in shape is through boxing. So gonna be doing that on a regular basis. And so far, this thing has been really dope. It was an ordeal to get. Um,
Really?
for something this cool, it fucking sucks that it's like one only ships to America.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
I had to use a courier service to like have them ship it to the border, and then they brought it from the border to me.
Fuck off.
And then once I had it installed and set it up and had it in place, um, the service it's because it basically it works with an app off your phone, and you sync the two
Hmm.
together. So you can pick
Yeah.
your music off of that or whatever. And that app only works if you have an American account for either Android or iOS. If you are in Canada, you literally can't even see the app.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
just like completely restricted, like fuck you if you're outside the states type of situation.
We actually had to do something very similar. Paige has a Peloton exercise bike, and
Uh
we had
huh.
to have it shipped to some guy in Ontario who would then rent a truck and then drive the truck full of exercise bikes out to Quebec because they
Okay.
don't sell to Quebec because the Peloton programs, the exercise programs that you do,
Yeah.
are only in English.
There you go. There you
So
go.
they were not legally allowed to sell things in Quebec.
Yeah. So I had a guy drop it off from, it went over to like New York, and someone drove up from there and brought it. And then for the app, like it was a whole thing, but I eventually figured out how to like just basically you have to make a new iTunes account, and then it has to be an American account, and an American account requires an American address, an American phone number. So you got to fucking do a whole
Can we stop
rigmarole.
geo-locking exercise, please?
Yeah, but I was able
I
to
think
eventually figure that out and then get it set up, and so now it's working fine. I just, as long as I don't tell them where I am, hopefully they won't remote destroy it inside my house and kill me. You know,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
yeah. But so that's what I've been doing. I've been using the light boxer, and that's going to be, part of the thing. But yeah, I'm probably going to be going as well back to some sort of more intensive training multiple times a week, which is going to, you know, my choices are basically like during when I record or before I record. And in order to do that and like, I guess rest and then start the stream and be
Record
able to do
sweaty,
it
man.
properly, gonna need to push things forward a little bit. So probably gonna, yeah, be starting, you know I might it might we I'm gonna say 3
Hmm.
from now on, but it'll be touch and go as I figure this out.
That's the
um
3 p.m. the Eastern.
that's 3 p.m. Eastern, and
Mhm.
if it's too tight, then I'll push it back even more, and it'll,
When are you starting now?
1 p.m. Eastern.
Starting at 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like we have a daytime stream more or less, that bleeds
Hmm.
into the evening. But yeah, this might push things back a bit. But whatever. It's like, all that. It's like shit's important. Gotta fucking get rid of this, because fortunately it's type 2, not type 1, so you can get rid of it. And I ain't going out like Patrice.
Hmm.
So
Well, to be fair, Patrice isn't the kind of guy who, blindly ignored his health issues. Patrice O'Neill was a man who discovered he had health issues and then wondered if he could faith heal it by shoving hookers onto the disease with
okay, well,
as much cocaine as he could get a hold of.
in the stuff he was doing, like in the last, right before the end, like he was trying, he just wasn't trying hard enough, like I
I
remember.
know. I'm just saying you didn't have the cocaine and hooker fueled lifestyle hanging out with Jim Norton that Patrice
Yeah,
O'Neill had.
yeah, I think his best years were left behind in Brazil. I think he got over that, the Como years. But
Hmm.
but what I do recall is like he definitely was concerned and talking about a lot of that stuff, in his last appearances and shit and whatever.
Like,
So, you know.
for example, my father told me that everyone in my family has a history of heart disease, right? And I
Hmm.
go, "Oh, that's tough." And so every time I go to the doc, I get checked up and I'm like, "How's my heart?" And they go, "Oh, it's fine actually. Your blood pressure's actually pretty good too." I go, "That's weird." And so I thought about it. I'm like, "Oh, wait a second. Does my family have a long history of heart disease, or is it the fact that every single member of the Boivin family was a fucking 2 to 4 pack a day chain smoker since they were a 10-year-old?
Yes. Right.
That might have
Yeah.
had something to do with it, Dad. All those cigarettes you smoked in the car."
Hmm. Yeah. But, like I've mentioned it before, but like my family's pretty healthy. I'm basically the
Mhm.
only overweight one, and I did talk about how,
Damn
like,
video games.
well, it's not even just that, but like of the, like when they're like, these are the groups of people that are the most long lived
Hmm.
on planet Earth. On the
Hmm.
top 10 list of like longest living groups are
Hmm.
Seventh Day Adventists.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I
the
thought you were going to describe an ethno group. I didn't think you were going to describe a religious
because
organization.
they the grouping can be anything, right?
Okay.
It can it's not just like ethnic, it's not just like country or nationality. It can be any
Huh.
grouping whatsoever that creates information that can be statistically useful.
And what you're
And
saying is that as you broke away from the church, you have been cursed with unhealth.
precisely, whereas they remain clean, what it kind of comes down to is, because there's something that used to be preached called the health message,
Right.
and it was straight up just like, here's how to like live a healthy ass life and eat super clean. So, Bible or not, Ellen G. White or not, you're still gonna be getting a ton of health benefits from doing what they do, and they live a long ass time. um, Top 10 on the planet.
Damn, Wooly. You
Yeah,
should go back to church.
I should go back to church. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, nah, man, it sucks because I know that it never really goes away once you get it. Once you're in,
Mhm.
it's there. You can make it go into remission, but
I
if
got a
you go,
buddy of mine who successfully beat it after about 10 years of diet
so
control
so
and all
even
that.
after 15, 20 years, it's still called remission. It's not defeated,
Ah,
but providing you don't fuck up, that's kind of where you're at,
that's
you
what
know.
people with cancer say, but like remission's so lame. Just say you beat the cancer and you'll never have to think about cancer a whole day in your whole life ever again.
Yeah, yeah, and and I mean, like, the timing couldn't be fucking. Oh, the timing is pretty, as we mentioned. Like, a lot of people got fucking hit during the pandemic, and a good dude that I used to test with back in the day, just unfortunately, he just passed away as well, and
Mm.
similarly couldn't get things under control. And it's you know you see examples around you of, like, yeah, like, the last 3 years, a lot of people went from wherever they are to two, maybe three steps worse from that. You know?
Yeah, no, the fucking the COVID has had a wonderful knock-on effect of, hey, did you have a health condition that was moderate or under control? Your weakened immune response from the vid may be knocking you one peg down on the healthy rank enough to activate whatever your latent whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Not you personally, but like everybody who got
Sure.
COVID seems to be getting sick more
Yeah.
easily.
I also got told that I'm a little low in my vitamin D, which is like, I've never had that before, but yeah, that makes sense. Sunlight is a thing
My
that needs to be chased. Gotta
page
go get my copy of Buck Tie.
before we moved from Quebec, Paige went to the doctor and she's like, this and that, and then she was like, you are astonishingly, catastrophically low in vitamin D. And it was like, well, hiding from the earth in the basement of our house that didn't have many open windows.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So then we took some vitamin D supplements, and now out in BC, there's sunlight everywhere, and we're out all the time, so we're good. But there was
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that period of like, yeah, no, ooh, the sun, huh? How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah, no, got to figure that out. Also, yes, I'm like, the obviously, the sooner this kind of shit gets taken care of, the less of a knock on effect it has on everything else. And I definitely do. I'm happy that I don't have to deal with an insulin situation,
Hmm.
which, I mean, that's like just one of the number one most bonkers things in the States, admittedly. Although, according to some tweets on Twitter, I hear it might be free. So who the fuck
Oh man.
knows what's going on?
Hey,
You
if you
know?
ever wanted proof that rich people don't know what they're doing, go fucking look at all the businesses being affected by Twitter. Oh man.
Um.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's. I don't. But anyways, that's the type 1 stuff where you have to just inject it every day is like, that's a rough one, man. I'm
Hmm.
fortunate that that's not the situation I'm in. But anyways, all this to say, this will affect the schedule. Therefore, I am bringing it up and discussing it.
Wooly,
Um,
why'd you move the time? Because the sugar.
the sugars, plural.
The sugars.
That's
The
what old black people call it, the sugars.
Wait, really? But it's
Yeah.
it's just the one blood sugar.
No, 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 no. Like, back in the day, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
what's wrong with Uncle? Oh, Uncle's got the sugars. You know how it
Oh,
is.
really? I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the sugars made me do it. They
Hmm.
made me move the schedule over.
There's a lot of like really interesting coded language, especially for like older black generations, about like things that they didn't have words for, but they just found ways to describe it. It's like, oh, don't mind me, I have bad nerves. It's like, what's
Yeah.
happening? Why what's going on? It's like, oh, I have bad nerves. It's like, what is that? That's anxiety.
Yeah.
You're having an anxiety attack, but we just called it bad nerves back in the day.
My mother would
So
describe herself as neurotic. And it's like, Mom, I think you're having a panic attack. No, 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 no. I'm just a little strange. No, you're
There you go.
freaking out.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, fighting his demons,
Hmm.
right? In the bottle or whatever. Anyways, it's there's a whole thing to it, but yeah. That'll be happening. So, we'll see how it goes. That being said, um, uh, hopefully I can join you in your progress as you've been fucking crushing it and looking kind
Yeah,
of like
a lot of that. I really think a huge proportion of that early weight loss, like, so I've maintained that 40 pounds that I lost, or 40, whatever the fuck it
you're
was.
looking like that photo of you from my fucking Game Buzz video.
Okay, hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Um, but I feel like that first 45 pounds, which I've then maintained, I haven't lost any more since then, was a combination of diet, lifestyle, lack of Quebec. That's a big one. And the wild stress of moving all the way across country and setting up the house and the way that we live, and just like stress is a really good way to make
Mm-hmm.
yourself lose a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
weight, because you get
Mm-hmm.
through a whole day being so stressed out that you don't eat anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you
Mm-hmm.
do eat something, because you have to eat something, it's healthy instead of trash.
Yes. I have watched the weight peel off of my body due to stress in the past. It's kind of crazy
What, like,
how
my
effective that works.
my
Um,
beard's coming back now after I trimmed it.
yeah.
And one of the things that I noticed is that when my mom, she watched, like, she occasionally checks in on the podcast or like one of my streams or whatever, and she's like, "Where did all that white come from in your beard? It wasn't there when you left." And it's like, "Ooh,
That
ugh."
being said, I'm unfortunately inflicted with like I really love this city, so
Mhm.
I won't be able to shake off the lack of Quebec symptom that you've listed
Oh yeah.
anytime
Well,
soon. You know,
I had a lot. I had a long history of
yeah,
reasons to leave.
understandable, absolutely. You know, but like someone that was born and raised here, and like you know, there's I have enough love here that I intend to stick around. I really like it, but
Mhm.
there's some shitty shit,
Right
and
up until they make doing LPs in English illegal.
yeah, well,
And then you'll move to London, Ontario. Or fucking. Would you ever consider Hamilton?
I would never. Thank you.
Man, that's one of
No,
the. Oh man, yeah. If Gotham City was offering like a fucking 4 bedroom for like $600, and it was like a nice 4 bedroom, but it was like in Gotham City, would you move there? I saw that question on Twitter a little while ago, and I was like, oh man, I don't know. Oh,
yeah,
that's tough.
no, but like again, like the shit that gets bad that gets bad here does suck, and I know like every place has its sides that you kind of only
Hmm.
learn after some time passes, but
Hmm.
um, no, I really do like yeah, I don't know what to say. Like I love
I'm
Montreal
not
for what it
telling you to
is,
leave.
No, no,
I
I'm not.
wanted.
I'm not to you, not to you. To them, to them. There's a
Mhm.
lot that is keeping me here. So, um,